Good morning. Happy Friday. All right. So we had another day of wiggles yesterday. Um, just hasn't been able to make the turn. And today could be the last shot that it's got to do that. You know, some of these markets or sectors that have gone down a lot more than the others. This isn't one of them, of course. But is trying to make this retest pattern. You can see it's up here a little bit. Whether it could actually make this turn or not, we shall see. But it's down here. It's had a couple of days yesterday, and got a little bit of buying on the dip down there at the pivot, and we'll see if we can get a green day today. Um, if not, they're saying this head and shoulders. We'll see if it follows through. I mean, there's been a lot of comments about markets being up 20+%, the S&Ps 2 years in a row, and it won't repeat it. There's going to be some correction, possibly, of course. If we get a close under this area, remember there's an unfilled gap here. There's another pivot low down here. And so we would not expect any kind of a collapse. And as time goes on, there's always something news or something to jiggle the markets. But this pattern clearly is a distribution pattern. It's wide, right? Whippy, which is indicative of what typically happens during a top. That previous chart of the week, I wrote about, could this be negated? Of course, I've seen plenty of head and shoulders tops not follow through. Sometimes they trigger and flip back up again, but they tighten up over here. They tighten up where the bars, the range is narrow, the bodies get smaller. You can see yesterday the body got actually larger. And so we're still in waiting mode. But should it break here? Oh, this is an obvious place where it would go, right? This unfilled gap. I don't think it would hold it for very long because common sense says if we have some reference point to the left and you've got all of this time of creating a consolidation after a move up, we have to assume that some of this is buyers that believe the market would go higher, which would be normal, after this advance. And we had, the news of this big move down. So if this fails, that demand becomes supply, drives it lower. This becomes a obvious place for a stall. And then we go back and see what happens. Does it jiggle around down here? It can't lift up. Does it retrace all the way back up there? The longer it hangs down here without going up, the greater the potential for it to move lower. So will it confirm the start of a bear market? Not initially, no. But this pattern is something that precedes larger corrections. And so we're just waiting to see, as we have been for the last, few weeks, which way this thing's going to go. And we're still there today. So is it gapping up? Yes, it's been higher. It's in the lower part of yesterday's range. We look at the 65-minute chart. You see this big head and shoulders. This is a small, sloppy head and shoulders, and it's sitting right there, waiting. Right? Who's going to blink? And moving up a little bit into the resistance, the weekly chart. Is it an uptrend? And that 20, as you know or not, is equal to the 100 MA, subjective reference point. And it's lined up. Again, you can see the cursor there on the daily and on the 65 and on the weekly, the 20 MA being equal to the 100, you've got a moving average that probably many are looking at. as a point of will it break it or not? So we'll see. We'll see. And one of the things that happened yesterday was one of the, you could call it market general, Apple violated its uptrend. So it's extended. It's extended on the weekly, coming down to this area of minor support or somewhere. Could be the 50. And so the 50, and again, the 20 on the weekly equal to the 100. Now you got the 50 and the 100 lined up with this minor support area. So should Apple, and it looks like it should continue to come down here, right? Just the strength that it's had in this kind of a move, and this is a void, there should be buyers down there. So this could be something to keep an eye on in the coming weeks to see if Apple comes down there and whether we get an opportunity for a short-term long, what it does, put spread, whatever. And I haven't even looked at premiums in SPX today. Probably not far from yesterday. And yesterday I said the top side was more or less what the no-brainer would be. Never even got close. Couldn't even get above the 50 MA. So, as a measure of, is this going to break? We'll know for sure when it happens. But on a day-to-day basis, something that rallies, obviously it fell back, moment of weakness, but it couldn't even puncture the 50 MA. So a little bit of sign of weakness there. And let's call it 57.90. Moving it down. And okay, markets are gapping up a little bit. So a little bearish undertone to that. They didn't bring that up. That could be a little positive for the markets today. We'll see. Just look at that again. Interesting. Okay. 59.60. Well, that came down too. Came down a lot. All right. So spiders, let me just go back and look at this again. I'd like to see the distance coming up here. Just below, well, I would say that's about 50% of the range. Not quite the body, but 50% of yesterday's range. So right about there, since this doesn't update. And unmade support. But there's never premium in spiders, but this is a pattern that I think an iron condor would work. You got an unfilled gap down here. You've got the 50, and that's a nice distance above there. And it's right now it's about here. Yeah, I don't think it's going to get to either one today. All right, let's look at other markets. And so here's kind of what we're dealing with, right? In that we've got a lot of markets retesting this low. Buyers have been giving it a shot. It hasn't been working because it just gives it back. So here's another, bounce NASDAQ futures and up into this minor resistance area, and they're stalled. Right? And just whipping back and forth. Like, what are they going to do here? Can they try and make a turn? Can they stay green on the day, or is it just going to go back down again? I don't know. Does it break here? Does it get above there? It's got room to go up. If it can get through here, it's got room to go down. And so, for day trading, be nimble, and we can keep an eye on whether Apple recovers a little bit, or Google, or some of the generals that can move things around. In the NASDAQ, semiconductors are still a mess. This looks like it needs to come down to the 50, you know, not that it absolutely has to, but coming down here would be attractive for a bounce somewhere in here. So this is the Magnificent 7 ETF. And I would suggest setting alert down there. Just put that on the 50 and my alert is set. Now we've got the Russell was showing some relative strength yesterday and it gave it all back. You can see on a closing basis, it's just not moving. It moved up and it fell apart. Yesterday we talked about, hey, this thing's got some room to run, and it moved a little, collapsed. Now this is going sideways like the other markets, and everybody's just kind of waiting for some confirmation. Can we get some kind of bullish wide range bar? Some confirmation that buyers stood their ground. And what does that mean? Well, big green bar, like this bar having, if it had closed near the high of the day, we'd say, well, they stood their ground. Like this was one we looked at yesterday, was like, here's something that, wow, this looks amazing. Looks like it's gapping up a little bit, Dan. Lower high, lower low, into the 50, into support, and it breaks the prior bar's low and closes strong. That's a nice pattern. And so can this move if the markets don't? Well, if the markets start pulling back, most times buyers are going to back away even from something that looks good. And we did look at other broker dealers within the sector in the green room yesterday, and none of them were as compelling as this, which, makes that somewhat questionable. But I don't know if there was news on that. Okay, YM, another one that was pounded down. Same story. It's on major support. Came down hard, wide range bar ending, shallow retracement, retest. Can it get a green day? That's what we're waiting to see. Crude oil continues to be strong, right? The wide range bar yesterday when I was speaking, I think it was like 10 minutes after 9 when we looked at this, and I said, hey, wide range bar, maybe it can get wider. We'll see what it's going to do. And it got a little wider now in an inside bar here. So it's probably, it is stalling, some sideways movement. And while it gave it back intraday, it still stayed green. So, some of these oil related stocks, they've had this little bounce, and probably I'm not so sure that they're going to do much more. But this is like one sector that was doing a little catch up. We got gold. We looked at that yesterday and said, oh, maybe this is the start of something, and maybe it is. So when I look at something like this, and let me just kind of give an example. Something like this. I look at it like that. Kind of give what I'm getting at, meaning all of that mess over there makes it confusing. What matters is the fact that this came down hard. It made it a pivot. It's retesting and it's come up. If we can get a sideways, right? We're getting this today. If this comes down here and it hangs, this is going to be a long next week. This hangs here in the upper part of this bar. All I care about is this part of the pattern, because this pushed up through this messy area that I covered up. So this kind of like takes it out of the equation. Now it's out of my sight, so it doesn't bother me anymore. But you get what I mean? Is like, this is what matters right here because of the strength of this move up. And now we're getting this retest. And so you can get a move. So look on the 65-minute bottoming pattern, right? So this you can't see what's over there. So this doesn't matter. This is another example of what I'm saying. It bottomed, it had a nice move, it's at this resistance, it jiggles around up here, our conversation of tightening up, and it's got room to run. Probably not happening today. So make a mental note for that for next week. There's the nest back. And so this is part of like in the course concept that I cover is of neutralizing what's to the left. And it's like if it trades above and below it, it's been used up. It's kind of I don't know if it's confusing. It's a different concept of understanding the price action. And because most will look at this and apply some indicator to it, whether it's a volume thing or sorry, Alex, a VWAP or some kind of brain damage to this thing. And it'll say that there's all this resistance there. I used to do that, until the light bulb went on. And it's like, you know what? All this crap doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter. Right? What matters is this. Right? It traded above and below. And so, and this is like, unlocking the mysteries of technical analysis and the confusion, because you look to the left here and you say, oh, look at all this. And then you'll just see something like this explode. I say, how does that happen? So you have to come to some reasonable analysis and explanation for that kind of price action that flies in the face of, hey, there's all these bars over there to the left. All right, let's move on here. Up near that prior high, up near the prior high that I was showing you. All right, so interest rates. I want to look at the 30 year. So it's retesting this prior low down here, and it's stabilizing. Well, why are we looking at that? Well, most of the time we look at TBT, it's up at, or the 10-year, the interest rates, it's at resistance. So here's the bond prices. You look to the left. This is where buyers should be. And it hasn't been able to lift up. It's just jiggling around here. So if this can start moving up, interest rates start moving down. So let's look at the 10-year. Just been jiggling around up here. If it can start moving down, that should put some kind of pressure relief on things like Home Depot, Lennar, Toll Brothers, home builders, which have been beaten down, and maybe they get some kind of a relief rally. So you can set some alerts on bonds or yields and see if they want to make some kind of a move. And you can see the inverse here, up near this resistance area. So they're not moving just yet. Time I got to get going here. Other things that are things are still messy. So that's basically, don't get in love with anything here. Be nimble, and we'll move on. See what next week brings. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, so this could turn out to be a 30-minute high, just like I said yesterday on a great 0 DTE put day. I've posted a couple things already. Let me look at alarms and then my interest list. My Netflix alarm just went off. We're short this, but we're right at break even. Adobe is, I don't know what's going on here. That's an ugly gap. We actually bought it on this 1, 2, 3 climb though, so we're gonna have to use 30-minute low. VST up alarm. Some of us sold a put spread, but I know the premiums contracted real quick. SFM John gave us yesterday, and it has a nice premium, so I posted that as a jam put spread, the 1.25. home alarm went off. Beautiful multi-bar turn here with the rising 20, rising 50. We bought it there. Up alarm went off, so I just moved stop break even. SSRM, we're in already, but I have an alarm at 720 here to add. It's another buy setup with a new low reversal retest. That looks great. I got my alarm PO8I. But next week we're going to be doing MT Live on these little explosive patterns under $10. And this one's set up nicely. Look at this weekly. So that's, today might be the day. It's, these are wide bars. We're in this other one. Let me find it. Where we have short puts, but I also have it as a long watch. And this is another one, Kiwi here, little bottoming pattern. So now with the gap up, we're up a couple pennies. Fun. Yeah, this one's see how this one's tighter. So bottoming pattern, 1, 2, 3 weekly. Been in a coma in the monthly. So this looks great as a directional over the high. So like I said, we shorted $4 puts. I posted Nova. It's not one of these bottoming pattern. Well, it's not like one of these little explosive ones that I'm talking about where the monthly's coming out of a coma. It's just a vanilla bottoming pattern. But we got a retest here on major support. We got a retest on the weekly, double bottom. So that's just a bottoming pattern. Let's see what else did I post of interest. What Alex gave me looks great. KMTK. Beautiful multi-week turn at the 50 buy setup. Weekly. Interactive broker, similar, see, multi-week turn at the 50 buy setup. I'll be looking to buy a pullback on that today. That looks great. A couple call spreads. Mister under yesterday's low. I'll consider a 0 DTE call spread. Look at SMCI hanging off a cliff here. So under these lows, a big old void here. We're going to buy puts. Continuation sell setup. All right, those are all the official trades and alarms. Just see what we got over here. Nitto, look, that's one of these explosive things. I mean, look, that was a gap and go yesterday, and it was a coma. Daily, weekly, monthly coma. Look at the volume. I had no idea what was going on with these things, but look at that, it's doubling. It's doubling now from yesterday's close. It's crazy moves I've been seeing over the last few weeks here. Givo. This was an explosive move here, but look, bullish price action, and you still have a void, and you still have bullish weekly, monthly, but at 250, I think the risk to reward is horrible right now. Ribbon announced their monthly deliveries, but no pattern. RZLZ, another one of these bottoming patterns, not the explosive type, just a vanilla bottoming pattern. Made higher high, higher low. I don't know. I got better stuff to watch. Delete you. Let's POAI, yeah, I already talked about that. Can be ready. X. Biden's killing the Japan purchase. Yeah, I don't know all the politics, but I better be careful what I say. stir people up. But whatever Biden says, I just vote the opposite. I'll leave it at that. All right, so this explosive move, bull rectangle, bullish weekly, monthly, but it's blasting again here. So no entry. Intel alarm. I've been talking about this for a few weeks now. When this kind of breakdown, I said, let's see if it can come up and give us an inverse head and shoulder. And it looks like that's exactly what might be in the works right now. So I'll put that there. Docking. I don't see any pattern unless you're saying continuation breakdown, which is fine because then it won't trigger unless it's weak. Cliff Clavin here as a, Climo, new low reversal, 30-minute high. On the video relative strength, this would be a great put spread today, but there was no juice at 135. But it went through resistance, kind of a little bull flag here, relative strength. That could be also a day trade long if it sets up. I bid. The news said this is BlackRock's Bitcoin fund. The news said they had withdrawals of their biggest withdrawals in one day, like 333 million. Boyd got an upgrade. I thought I saw it gapping over the red bar, in which case it would be a good put spread. Square, this thing blasted, and I had been waiting to see if there's some type of entry on the daily. I have a buy setup weekly. I have a breakout of a big old inverse head and shoulder on the monthly. So this is on it's on my long watch list. There's a little gap and go here pre-market. But this is the turn now. The turn at the 50 with a bullish weekly monthly. Let's see, did I just get filled? Yeah. So done. That VST I was in. I put an order out at 25 cents and I got filled right there. So I sold it at 80. Now I know we had the discussion. I don't know. Most people didn't get filled. I kind of thought I got lucky, but we'll take it. Those market makers seem to screw us all the time with fills. Yeah, we got ISM. Yep. Yep. All right. Docking VCTR. This I like if it closes like this. It's still trying to do, this little hook pattern, as Greg calls it. So it broke out, red bar ignored, deep retracement, hook pattern, and a big void to, I don't know, 70, 72. So that looks good. Here, I'll put Victor there, maybe a 30-minute high. Let's see, Alex, your KNTX. Let's wait for a pullback because it's extended on the 15. Yeah, there's still zero daily patterns here on the horseman. Yeah. Yeah, that looks fine. Marvel. Semis look good with the gap up and the video ripping. Bark up alarm. Animal sector, Sam. I would do a 112, 0 DTE on this. 4 cents by 19. But yeah, I mean, we're firing here, even though there's no void on the 15. So I think it's just could be pent up, pent up umphness from 4 days of selling. And the news had some headlines about, yeah, that was, the worst, again, multi-day sell-off in a long time. All right, so this POAI, if you're so inclined, I would prefer it to close like this and then do it Monday. Yeah, Google's a bull rectangle. Yep, I mentioned that yesterday. Yep. All right, Nova is triggering. So I bought stock and sold those $4 puts rather. The $4 puts. Sold some at 40 cents. I'm going to try to sell some more at 45. Bark. Four. Sol up alarm. Looks great. Another little kind of, cup here after breakout. Let's see, this one fits my category of buying junk, but nailing the daily, weekly, monthly entry. All in alignment. You better call Saul. AD line 1262. Nice positive tick. VIX gap down. Interest rates gap down. So yeah, and it's just the problem is there's there's no voids on the horseman, but we can trade our own compelling patterns that we find. So just glancing at the Apple is still relative weakness here. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm looking at the hourly on the horseman, and they all got resistance to the left. So it's not like any are breaking out of a head and shoulder or anything. Look at Apple is still the weakest FANG here. Tesla, let's see, Tesla is flattened out. This could be a 0 DTE put spread. Let me check the juice bar. I would do the 370s. Uh, 59 or 372.50. 372. 365 is 50 cents. It's an idea. That's an idea. And just you can tell with my grimy. I on my bottom right screen of my 6 screens, I use 5, 15, and 65. But when I have an individual stock linked, then I'm also looking at the 5-minute and the weekly and monthly also. Yeah, Graham, we only use caps for symbols. So I'm sure that was just a error. IWM up alarm. We sold a put spread on it yesterday. And we're relatively flat. Went against us yesterday. I'll set new alarms. 220, but IWM, if it closes like this, you can it's a double bottom. It's a double bottom with a sloppy, attempt at making the turn. But it's still big. Yeah, Marvel looks good. I like it. Yep, semi-strong. This looks better than semis. Oil is still strong. I see XAR reversing here. BIOS. Oh, I sold a put spread on this yesterday. Oil, I personally sold my oils yesterday. So it looks like I got out too early. JP Morgan. JP Morgan, it's just not as juicy. I mean, that's Kichter. I think Kichter is a superior pattern because of the multi-turn, the support closer to 20 and the void to JP Morgan. Same with that interactive broker, which we did not enter. VIX at the low. Oh, calm. There's a 1, 2, 3 to add for Monday. See, this is another one I like better than JP Morgan because of the turn at the 20 and the clean void. We're in this one already. Yeah, yeah, I made tonight yesterday. Yeah, I got it on my list here somewhere. Yeah, that'd be 1, 2, 3 for on Monday or today. Set an alarm. All right, Nova triggered 408. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I still have those three oils on my list you gave me. Got them up here somewhere. Okay. Void did nothing. Hotel still a dog. SFM. It triggered, but I got you got filled. Brothers. Whoever mentioned it yesterday. Remember, I like Brothers and Interactive Broker the best. I was hoping for a 1, 2, 3, 4. I know Alex is in it, but that could be a 1, 2, 3. Remember late Leader I mentioned yesterday? Leader, nice 15, but now you're chasing.
Anybody else look at WSM? My level 2 doesn't fill in. What's up with that?
ACB. I was trying to sell puts yesterday. It didn't get filled. Yeah, there's 0 by 19. So I'm gonna try low offer 18. Should low alarm. Ah, nice, Sammy boy. Should. Alex told me not to call you Sammy boy anymore. Is that a correct statement? Yeah, yeah. Sam the man. All right. I'm just not sure of the void on this one, but you know, it's definitely weak following that bearish gap. I should let me see. So remember we talked about when to move stops break even, and it's I'm tighter. I know I don't follow the rules, which should now say yesterday's high. But so what I want to do is say, okay, where is our entry? And what would it look like if it went back there? Now see, we entered at 103.99. And so that's too tight. So, but actually today's high is fine. You know why? Because it went through all that 15 resistance. So I'm gonna move it to 104.62. ASC alarm. Oh, ASC low alarm. Shoot, I was hoping that would be an up alarm. Wow. So yeah, ASC, a small little breakout failure there. Yeah, I'm seeing things stall all over the place now. ASC. Yeah, that was our ASC. Take the profit. Yeah, yeah, that would have been an adequate short. Yesterday's low. See now this says Sam, the man. This has a bigger void than your target or TJX, whatever you said, TJX. So that one, yeah, Patrick, I would have been all over that yesterday's low with a target maybe, you know, here somewhere. Yeah, yeah. I wish you told us earlier. XME low alarm. I sold puts on this yesterday. So this my XME is relative weakness to the XOPs. That ribbon next week. Yeah, yeah, it had some delivery. And hey, that could be a long-term entry. Yeah, earlier this morning I said there was no pattern. Look how that quickly changed. Yeah. Yeah, Sam CMI. Yeah, it's weak. Yeah, failed double bottom with a void. This is our other short, Sam. Other short, doing well. Still too early though to move it break even. Markets gave it all up. AD line slammed into the gap fill. So that means it's time to chill. Yeah, I saw Carvana down earlier today. Of who's LKMX? Oh, you mean KMX? Yeah, 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 yeah. The competitor. Yeah, that's probably true. Yep, yep. Agree with you totally. Yeah, Patrick. I wish I saw that one earlier. That was good. Oh, Alex, these other oils I wrote down right here, TRGP, but an Oki and WMB. Those are the three I kept. KBH, I think, got an upgrade today, but still nothing. BabX, I'm watching for a bottoming pattern. This one I'll set a new alarm, 6685. Nick was a dog. I like Ribbon a lot better. There, Nova off to a good start. This is a POAI I mentioned. PLAI. Look, I said today could be the day. I wasn't watching it. You could have bought 15-minute high, in my opinion. At 95 cents, you would already be up 10%. Wow. Take them out, John. POAI here, so I can keep an eye on him. Coke, yeah, yeah, descending triangle. Despite what Debbie says, low mover, overlapping bars, but put it on the list. This one, it is a 1, 2, 3. It's just far from the 20 and 50, so it'd be more of a day trade to me. Dropbox is better just because it has a bigger void and you got an M top. So yeah. I don't like booking just because he's too expensive and the option spreads are ludicrous. So I don't trade him. It's on my do not trade list. Keep that one. Elf has room. I like that one, John. Let me check. All spreads too. The 130s for next week would be a no-brainer. Very nice juice. I gotta check earnings, make sure. I think you just found us a call spread. Elf. I gotta double check earnings because I didn't double check on that one yesterday. All right, yeah, I like this one. Let's do a call spread on this. Under the lows. $22. Yeah. I mentioned this morning the relative strength. I said put spread and day trade. Yep, I wasn't watching it that closely. And that's what's helping the semis. Yeah, you're chasing now, Grimy, but yeah, that was a good trade. Good setup. I like Goog better just because this is 3 bars up at resistance. I like, well, yeah. John, did I go through all yours? No, I didn't. One left. Rick. Nah, I don't like that one. I don't like the overlapping bars. I don't like it fell so much, and I don't like that there's no void. So, John, I don't like that one at all. I gave L. Dropbox is on the watch. DHI is down too much for me. And that's housing, right? The housing sector. When things are down, Climos, you can trade them, but you just gotta be alert for breakdown failures when they're down so much. SFM, let's see where the premium is. Yeah, so I gave this pre-market, but in case you missed it, let's check it. 125. Yeah, the 120 spreads got ludicrous is the problem on this. Yeah, so let's forget this. But maybe we do the 125s naked. Yeah. Yeah, buy setup weekly, retest of a buy setup daily. It's a K and T K. I can't type this thing. K and T K. Never pulled in, but yeah, this was a great looking one, Alex. Mm-hmm. Qs and spiders look friggin' identical again on the 5-minute chart. Diamonds IWM pretty similar, weaker. Our Nova off to a good start. Look at that. RBLV is still pending. I still like it.
MSTX above the high of the day. Of the 15-minute. I know the daily's been crushed, but it's got to avoid above.
Yeah, nice 15 there. Yeah, big old bottoming pattern.
Dell is bottoming. I want to see how it closes. Downside shakeout.
Mm-hmm.
Walmart, which I typed in. The APP, which has been spready, that had a bottoming tail bar yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
AMD, maybe it gets a lift, making a higher low. D-Dog. If there's premium delta, is there premium under yesterday's low? Spot. You'd have to go out to next week. even 450. When's earnings? Next month. Yeah, and what do you think about spot for a put spread?
Sure, definitely. Three fives. A little spready. 43 cents. Yeah, we can give a limit. Yeah, okay, looks good. Yeah, yeah, not sure the target, the way it came down hard like that instead of in a fluid manner, like some of these other ones we've been looking at. 5 minute M top Qs and spiders.